All right. Shalawam, Israel. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, the Buwana to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalawam to Lek up there, doing this work of faith and live with love, true sincerity. All right, today, I pretty much want to get into a topic entitled Beautiful Scars, just thinking upon, this war that we fighting every day, how we got here to this point, us as being, Israelites living over here in Babylon, the conditions we suffer, so on and so forth. And, I was just thinking to myself that, at the end of the day, everything in which we suffered as a people, has been horrendous, and we know who's responsible for it. The Lord, the same one that placed us in this position, is the same one that's going to deliver us, and at the same time, it's our fault, that the Lord placed us within this captivity and all of this hell in which we're going through, but the Lord is that gracious enough, to show us mercy within these times for us to recognize, our errors and our ways, and to give us signs and things to know who we are and to come back to who we are, So at the end of the day, it's all beautiful, and it's beautiful to see, how, the signs of the times and everything is unraveling itself, and that truth is springing out of the earth more than ever, through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI. And all things of this world are being revealed, man, So, I want to start off in the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. And, everything about Deuteronomy 28th chapter is always going to be, I consider it, classics, classic scriptures. All of the scriptures are classic, but, just putting the emphasis on that because this is the essence and the beginning of how we know who we are, And start at Deuteronomy 28 and 45. It says, "Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever." Okay, so, first and foremost, the Lord gave us the blessings that we will receive if we followed him. And he gave us, the opposite of those blessings, which are the curses, if we didn't follow him, And the point is that, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So real quick, I want to look that up in a blue letter, when it says sign, and it's YAHAWAH. The word there is YAHAWAH, which means a sign, signal, a distinguishing mark, banner, remembrance, miraculous sign, owning, warning, token, ensign, standard, miracle, proof. Okay, so when you get into the essence of this, and the Lord allowing these curses to be upon us, this is the sign, of who we are. This is a distinguishing mark. And like I was saying, the title of this lesson is entitled Beautiful Scars. Because through all the curses that the Lord placed upon us, and we look at these things to this day, we can recognize that's a sign and symbol that says, oh, this is who we are. This have to apply unto us. This is why we're in this condition, So it says what? Sign, a distinguishing mark. Because what we know throughout these scriptures is no other people upon the face of the earth that fit these characteristics. And like what Haman told Xerxes, or Xerxes or King Ahasuerus in the book of Esther, real quick, right? And this is the book of Esther 3 and 8. It says, "And Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, There is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all people, neither keep they the king's laws. Therefore it is not for the king's profit to suffer them." Okay, so the law, statutes, and commandments that we have from YAHAWASHI is something that distinguished us from all the other people upon the face of the earth. And we can, when we look at this today, we can still see it. Why don't our people eat red meat, you know, like how Esau does? Why we like our things well done? Why we don't like it bloody? You know, different things like that. Why are these different things just naturally embedded within us? Because we are the people of the book, you know. So going back to going back into this, because I want to get into the word scar. But remember, it says in the blue letter, it says sign, a distinguishing mark, remembrance, okay, a token, an ensign, standard, miracle, proof. So this is proof of who we are. So when I go to the definition of scar, it's pretty much going to say just about the same thing to a degree. It says, well, I'm gonna go through these definitions because you know all of them don't apply. But it says, one of them says, to leave lasting signs of damage, to form a scar, to become scarred. Aren't we scarred from this captivity? Aren't we scarred from this hell? The impressions and things of slavery still play on us unto this day. Like how they say what, Stockholm Syndrome, or how our people love the so-called white man. Don't all of the plagues and the curses still play a big factor upon us? You know, as it says furthermore in the curses, that, you know, these curses shall pursue us forever, even ever and ever. Well, how these curses shall pursue us, you know, when we go from one place into another. You know, Jacob tried to escape, you know, one area thinking that they're going to live better down south or something like that, and it'd be the same thing. You can't escape the curses. And as being prophets, we have more than the curses upon us, because we gotta suffer for righteousness' sake, man. You know, so it's double the hell. Okay. So furthermore, it says a permanent change in a person's character resulting from emotional stress. We suffered heavy emotional stress here in Babylon. That's why even a lot of us as men today is what a lot of us are effeminized, man. A lot of us think, a lot of our people think according to a feministic state, man. And a lot of our people bow down to the woman. You know, everything that the woman says is right, whatever the man says is wrong. Oh, you can't do this with a woman, you can't do that. You know, woman being put on a pedestal over a man within the society. We suffer from heavy emotional stress by the hands of the so-called white man, Esau, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. You know? Why are our people in the conditions that they're in? You know, when you look at certain kids and how they grow up based upon their conditions from, you know, living in the hoods, you know, that people being strung, that family members being strung out on drugs, this, that, and the third. Then when they grow up, how they say what, a product of my environment, they become, you know, their brain and their mind gets formulated by the things in which they've seen and the things in which they've experienced. Therefore, they become a product of their environment, and they suffer from that emotional stress, you know? So the emotional stresses that the Lord placed upon us through the curses, that allows us to be able to come back to him when we look at these scriptures, when we recognize who we are. That's why once again this lesson is entitled Beautiful Scars, because the Lord left a very impressionable mark upon our mental for us to recognize who we are within these last days. So that's, even though we going through hell and we suffering, it's beautiful, because it's all for the good of YAHAWASHI, and that we're waking up. The scriptures say, for now it is high time to arise out of sleep. And the Lord awoken us, brothers that's in the truth, up out of that sleep, man. So it's beautiful, man. So we have to be thankful for the scars in which we suffered, man. Regardless of what it is you went through, whatever infirmities you go through. That's a part of the suffering. That's a part of the beautiful scars that you got to take for YAHAWASHI. Look at all the scars that YAHAWASHI actually took himself for us, man. So it should be nothing for us to reciprocate that love, you know? So, and like it says, pretty much getting into, I want to get into the book of Ezekiel, you know, the 37th chapter, you know, about the valley of the dry bones, man. Because this is all a part of it. This is all a part of it. You know, now, once we have coming up out of the state, you know, that dead state, what's the next step after that, man? You know, because it doesn't just stop once you know that you're an Israelite, because that's what a lot of people do. They know that they become aware of the fact that they're Israelites, and then that's just it. I'm an Israelite. I'm just, you know, that's what it is, and they don't take no action. It's all about action, man. That's what the Lord is about. The Lord is about action. And that's why we constantly on them highways and byways, and why we putting in this work week in and week out, you know, in our individual times. But this is Ezekiel 37, and I'm gonna just skip down a little bit. The verse 3, it says, "And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Yahawah, thou knowest. Again he said unto me, Prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye bones, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord power unto these bones, Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live." And that's the Spirit of the Lord that he breathed into us, for us to recognize who we are, for us to recognize, you know, these curses and these different scars that's been placed upon us, man. You know, how else we think Esau knows who he is, man? Because Esau suffered scars, but on his plane, it ain't beautiful, man. It might be beautiful to him now, but in the end, it's going to be gruesome, man. But all around the board, everything which we suffer and the continual suffering that we endure, you know, constantly on a day-to-day basis, is all beautiful, because Lord willing, that's our token and our keys to the kingdom, man. You know. So it says, verse 5, Thus saith the Lord power unto these bones, Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you. And ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. So I prophesied as I was commanded, okay, because it's a commandment for us to go out and prophesy. And as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. Then said he unto me, Prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, say to the wind, Thus saith the Lord power, Come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. Okay, so that's what's happening now, man. That's what's happening when we out there prophesying, you know, and the people is waking up because they can see the essence of who we are through the words in which we speak, and by the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI. And that's the most beautiful thing upon the face of the earth, the most powerful thing, man. You know, that the Lord allow us to do this. And it's a beautiful thing, because what the scriptures say, that when one sinner repenteth, there is joy in heaven, man. So the angels is rejoicing every time another brother wakes up, man. Every time another part of the sheepfold wakes up, the angels is rejoicing, man. Okay, and just like when you look at a battle, you know, battle and war movies and different things like that, you know, what happens? A man that get wounded, you know, but he'll struggle through. He might wind up saving other people along the way, even though he's wounded, man. Okay? But what? He's going to remember those scars in which he suffered. So the scars in which we suffered, we putting them things into remembrance, and we helping to remind our other brothers that's out there still laying there wounded, that's still a part of the valley of the dry bones. Because the Lord allowed us to wake up, so we got to wake up the rest of the brothers through the Lord, man. We're not actually doing the waking up. We just putting the message out there, and the Lord is putting the spirit upon them to wake up, you know? So this truth is very powerful, man. This truth is very powerful, you know? And these scars, man, every time I think of different instances and look at how my life was and look at how the Lord led me to this truth, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. Recognizing, like, why in the world everything I would try, every endeavor, it would fail, it would fail, it would fail, it would fail. You know what I'm saying? Because the scriptures also say that thy eye shall fail for thy vain help, man. You know, because trying to do things in the world, you know, when you're meant to be a prophet, it's not going to work out, man. You know, I mean, beforehand, and you just trying to, you know, build up and establish yourself, or you might be trying to make millions or do this or do that. You know, eventually the Lord going to make something happen within your life to where you're going to recognize this truth. You're going to recognize the scars in which you suffer, because money can't cover up the scars in which we suffer, man. That's why a lot of these celebrities and people like that, you know, especially the sellouts, they be going crazy. They doing all type of drugs and this, that, and the third to cover up all the pain in which they feel, man. You can't cover up the suffering. You can't cover up the emotional stress, man. Okay? It's going to be there regardless. But what do in this truth? We gird up our loins as men and we bury it, man. But in the ways of the world, you can't cover it up with nothing. Okay? These scars can only be covered up through us enduring this hell and through us being built up as men by YAHAWASHI. All right? And I was looking up, I looked up this quick article. I pretty much typed in like, why do we scar? And I came across a couple articles real quick I wanted to bring out. Matter of fact, no, not this one. I wanted to bring out the other one. Yeah, this is from the Huffington Post, and it says, why do we scar? This article was written by Robert Tornamabe or something like that. And I'm gonna read a couple paragraphs, and it says, scars represent the final phase of the body's healing or repairing process after the skin is damaged, just like the valley of the dry bones, you know. And what? Because we didn't have no skin upon us, we didn't have no sinews, we didn't have nothing, you know. But the Lord putting it back on us slowly but surely, you know. So it says scars represent the final phase of the body's healing or repair process after the skin has been damaged. So it was damaged, you know, through us discontinuing from our heritage. Now we're in that repairing process. We're in that repairing stage, okay? Scarring occurs as a direct result of accidents, burns, surgery, skin conditions, acne, for example, or any significant trauma to the skin. We've had heavy trauma, as I said, to our bodies, to our minds, to our spirits, everything, man. You know? What happens to a young boy or a young girl that get molested at an early age? They usually messed up when they grow up later on down the line, because that left damage unto them, man. You know, why you think we got a lot of faggots here amongst our people, man? You know, because what was Esau doing unto us in hardcore slavery? When you watch the movie Goodbye Uncle Tom, how they was making the little boys faggots, oiling them up with the Vaseline and the grease and all that, putting all them earrings in their ear, which is not homosexual to wear earrings, because we wore earrings back in ancient times, but they were trying to make them up like pretty little girls, man. So unto this day, that same spirit coming back, he has them same effects on his mind, man. You know, from what Esau did unto us, man. Yeah, so the next part says, it takes over a year. Hold on, Slakia. Yeah, it says, Slakia. The scarring process is part of the wound healing mechanism in which our body utilizes to heal after injury to the skin. The initial phases of wound healing include control of cessation of bleeding and sealing the wound to prevent bacteria penetration and wound infection. Okay? Collagen, a naturally occurring protein in the body, is then used to actually repair and close the wound. So how did the Lord close the wound? When Ezekiel was prophesying, the sinews and everything came back upon him. But what? The breath was still missing. So how did the Lord do that? The Lord had to put the breath in us to close up those wounds, man. You know, the Lord had to put the breath in us to close up them wounds. So this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 24. For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. For she is the breath of the power of Yahweh, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no defiled thing fall into her. For she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of Yahweh and the image of his goodness. Okay, so when you go back to Ezekiel 37:10, it says, so I prophesied as he commanded, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army. Okay, so it wasn't enough, you know, for the sinews and the bones and everything to be just put upon us. The Lord had to put that breath in us so that we can rise up as that exceeding great army and do what we're doing today. Prophesy Esau's downfall, wake up our people, and do what we got to do, you know, and let the world know who we are and who is going to be the future rulers of this earth, who this earth was made for, man, and put Esau in his goddamn place, man. That's what we're here to do, you know. So everything in which we've been through before, all of the scars, all of the suffering, think about every amount of suffering that you went personally through within your lifetime, man, and how far the Lord has brought us, man. Ain't nothing to rejoice about, but it's a beautiful sight to look at. When you think upon it and you meditate, you got to be gracious. You got to be thankful to YAHAWASHI for that. So in turn, you take all of that, you bottle all that shit up, and you keep marching forward, girding up your loins, and keep doing what we do, man. You know, because we got more scars to come. The suffering for YAHAWASHI, the suffering that we got to endure to enter into the kingdom. So the scarring ain't over, man. The scarring ain't over, you know. It just changed formats. It went from us being scarred, being plagued by Esau and everything that he's done to us, having us in this dumbed down state and us discontinuing from our heritage. That was one part of the scarring. But now we enter in that next phase of the scarring, which is that healing. Okay, so all of the scars and all of the hells in which we catch now is that healing process. That's why the scriptures say this, right? And the book of Hebrews, the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, and I start at verse 5. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. Okay, because when we discontinue from our heritage, we forgot, you know what I'm saying, everything of the Lord. We forgot that encouragement. We forgot that we were the children of YAHAWASHI. My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening, Yahweh dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? Okay, so we got to constantly endure this chastening. And for whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth, man. Okay, so that's how it is. We got to go through this. This is what it is. We have to firmly acquaint our life with suffering and catching hell, man, because it's only going to make us better, man. Day by day by day, it's only making us better. We casting off more imaginations, you know what I'm saying, casting more imaginations down, breaking down the strongholds that Esau and all the other nations is putting up, man. We building up our characters. The Lord is molding our characters, because when you get into the blue letter on Hebrews 12:5, I believe the word is of chastening. I believe it's either paidae or paiduo, and it gets into the point of educating or training the children, you know, educating or training the children and molding the character. So just as when you get into Jeremiah, you know, because the Lord is molding us. So like I said, this is the healing process, and with a healing process, with a scar, you know, the collagen and everything has the forms and it's going to mold over, you know what I'm saying? And eventually, you know, well, that scar probably might be there for a long time, or depending if you putting some, you know, natural stuff on it, it'll go away eventually, you know. But when them scars still standing there, that's bringing you in remembrance of an incident or a traumatic experience that happened in your life, so that you learn from those things. Like when we go off, when we sin, what the scriptures say, that a just man falls 7 times and rises up again. So when we look at them scars, we know not to make the same mistakes. And if somebody that does, you know, then, hey, that shows that you're not a just man, or that's something not right about your spirit, and you need to thoroughly check yourself. Damn, I just lost my train of thought. Slakia. Yes, another scripture came to mind, because yeah, this is the book of Sirach 37:19. It says, there is one that is wise and teacheth many, and yet is unprofitable to himself. So We have to learn from our mistakes. We have to learn from the scars in which we're suffering, man. We have to learn from when we go off so that we don't continue to do it again. What did David say? You know, David prayed unto the Lord, asked for forgiveness, and said, let me teach transgressors thy ways, through him going off, man. So that's just what this is all about. You know, we helping each other mend all the scars so that we can move on and continue to stay steadfast within this truth, man. You know, so all of this is important. All of this is beautiful. All right. So I forgot the other scripture I wanted to grab, but I'm gonna get a little more into this article. It says it takes over a year for a scar to mature. So it's just letting you know, through a process of time, the mentality that we've been suffering from, the hell, whether you're a brother that's emotional, whether you're a brother that whatever problem that you may suffer from, it's going to take time for your scars, the emotional trauma, the emotional stress that you've been suffering to heal, man. But you pray unto YAHAWASHI, stand better in the scriptures, keep doing the work. The Lord is going to heal you from those things, man. You know, it takes over a year for a scar to mature or completely heal. Most new scars, called immature scars, appear red and angry during the first 3 months of formation. And this is a normal variant of the scar forming process, okay? Because it's new. When you first come into this truth, you catching hell, it might seem like a lot. You know, brothers that, you know, go through things with their family members or go through things with their Eve, their children, different stuff. When you come in, like how it said, most new scars, called immature scars, appear red and angry during the first 3 months of formation. So you're going to be mad as hell through the hell that you catching when you first come in, man. Okay, because it's all of a part of it, all a part of the immaturity and the growth that you have to gain, that we have to gain, because we still young within this truth, you know. And this is a normal variant of the scar forming process. The problem is that everyone scars differently, so everyone heals differently. Everybody experiences what you've been through personally is differently, and that's going to mold you to the person and who you are to add into the body, and especially to the camp and what you label with, man. That's why we all come together and we form as one unit. And one brother is strong in this area, it might be weak in another area, and this brother picks up where this brother lacks off, so on and so forth. And it's that chain effect, man. And we are one body, man. You know, body part. The camps is body parts, but as a entire unit, you know, through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI, starting with Great Millstone, we are one body, man. You know. It says the problem is that everyone scars differently and no one can predict the quality of an individual's scar formation. The best scenario is the final scar that is as thin as a fine line, flat, matching the surrounding skin color, and over time becomes minimally perceptible. So after a while, those scars become, you hardly can't notice it, depending on how bad the scar is. You know, depending on how bad the scar is. But eventually what? You become adaptive to the hell. So it becomes nothing to you. It becomes second nature. That's how we want all the hell that we catch to be. We want it to be second nature unto us, because we know what we're headed for. You know, we know the battles that we have, that we're facing daily, and we know the even greater battles that are to come, man. You know, as it says in Ezekiel 13:5, you know, they haven't prepared us for the battle of that great day. You know, the so-called leaders of this society, of our people, you know, but the Lord gave us men of the Lord, you know, to lead us in that proper stead, you know, so that we do be prepared for the battle of the great day. All right. And it says the opposite end of the spectrum. Okay, it gets into something else there. Yeah, I'm going to read this. It says the treatment options for scars are varied. Early on, scars should be vigorously massaged with the moisturizer 1 or 2 times a day for about a minute. So when I think about this, how the scar should be vigorously massaged with moisturizer, what's our moisturizer? The word. This is our moisturizer, man. You know what I mean? To heal us from our wounds, man. Getting into the scriptures, reading the stories, reading the different parables and stuff. This is our moisturizer, you know? So, hey, man, you know, from beginning to end, the hell that we've suffered, you know, from us going off, that was a beautiful scars. You know, the Lord allowing these curses to settle upon us and to be upon us forever, so that we have something to come back to recognize that this is who we are. That's a beautiful scar. to wake up and to know who we are, to wake up and stop thinking we Africans, we this, we that, we this, we Moors, we Muslims, this is that and the third. That's all beautiful. And now the even more beautiful part awaits us is the constant sufferings that we catch now, because we know that now that since we recognize we're Israelites, we're being built up. You know, we're being built up, and Lord willing, in the end, we be built up to the point that we can endure the times of Jacob's trouble and everything that Esau has planned for us in the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI. So you got to look at everything within this truth as beautiful and embrace them beautiful scars that you catch during the sale, Akim, because we almost up out of here. So with that, you know, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWASHI, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the elect. Lord willing, this was edifying.